Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee. I'm Reverend Dina McFeeters and am honored to serve as Associate Minister and to welcome you to our online worship service. At First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee, we welcome people of all genders, sexualities, ages, races, ethnicities, histories, and bodies. We welcome your mind, your body, and your spirit. We welcome all that you are bringing with you and all that your heart longs to set down. We offer all ages religious education today at 10 a.m. with pre-K and kindergarten at 11:30 a.m. Youth group meets today at 4 p.m. Sign up for the RE Weekly Update to learn more about the new schedule of programs that begins next Sunday and more about ways to connect with our families, faith, and community. You can find the links in your live stream chat now. Please join us for a virtual coffee hour this morning after service, and you can find that link in your live stream chat. Visitors and members are welcome. You may want to come to connect and reflect today at 11 a.m. till noon. A facilitator will share a short reading and will reflect on questions in response. It's a come-as-you-are event, no preparation necessary. And that link will be in your live chat now. Lunch with the Senior Minister on Facebook Live is on hiatus this Monday due to Labor Day. If you are looking for ways to deepen your spiritual grounding and connect with others during these challenging times, check out our adult spiritual development programs such as Theme Circles, Geography of Grace, and Beloved Conversations. Registration is open. Please do register over the next few weeks and watch for information about these programs in your e-announcements. Next Sunday, September 13th, we begin a new church year and a new online worship time, 10 a.m. only. Please join us for In-Gathering Sunday. We long to see each other's faces, so please send us a photo of yourself at church or elsewhere to be included in a photo montage. By tomorrow, Monday, September 7th, by the end of the day, we're going to include these photos in a photo montage and look forward to seeing your faces. The email link and the upload link for your photo should be in your live chat now. Well, I'm pleased to introduce our pulpit guest today, First Church member Monica Kling-Garcia, who is leading worship on the topic Nap, Pray, Love. Monica is the Shug ministerial intern at the First Unitarian Church of Chicago and a third-year seminarian at Meadville Lombard Theological School. In her ministry, she is passionate about the ways that we are all connected and the responsibility we have to build a fair and just world for each other. Monica currently lives in Chicago with her husband Logan and their cat, Yennefer, and is grateful for the opportunity to return, even if virtual, to her home congregation that first encouraged her ministry. We are glad to have you with us today, Monica. Once again, I welcome you to our worship service this morning by inviting you to repeat our mission after me. We gather to nurture the spirit, engage the mind, and inspire action. Let's hear the opening words from Monica.
Good morning, all. It is so good to be back with you this morning in this virtual space. Today, our worship service will be talking about the important practice of rest. Each Sunday, as this community gathers together either in person or online, we take the time to lay down our burdens and rest as a community together. In the time of online worship, we have a unique opportunity to be extra comfortable in our worship space of our own homes. I invite you to take this moment to make yourself comfortable wherever you are. Maybe adjust how you are seated. Maybe, hold your warm cup of coffee or your warm beverage close. And take a deep breath. Today, we enter this time by simply taking in the moment. For sometimes the best thing that we can do for ourselves and our spirits is not to do anything at all, just to simply be. Come, let us rest in worship together. Please join me in a time of meditation. I invite you to either close your eyes or gaze softly at a point ahead of you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Keep breathing in and out. Take this time to focus on your breathing. Notice how your chest rises and falls. Now imagine yourself in a woods, and you are moving down a path. You hear birds chirping in the trees. You feel a breeze touch your cheek as the tree branches move. You continue on, following the path through the trees. Eventually, the path begins to lead you to the edge of the woods. And now there is a small beach and a lake before you. You step out onto the sand and take a seat. The lake is still, reflecting the blue of the sky. You watch the water for a while. Take in the stillness. Breathing in and breathing out. It's time to return now. You stand up and return to the path that you came from. You walk back into the woods. Notice your breath again. And when you are ready, open your eyes.
Good morning. My name is Beth Monholland, and I'm honored to serve as your worship associate with you today and to share this story. Like many people, I think especially these days, I struggle with feeling that I must always do something to be productive. To be honest, even at the best of times, I'm kind of a stereotypical overachieving eldest daughter, and I've been working on that. But when the harsh internal critic fills my brain with demands of more productivity, I've been trying to channel my grandmother. Not the grandmother of my childhood. No, that woman worked hard. And until around the time I was born, she had lived her whole life in houses without running water and many times houses without electricity. She hauled water and wood and coal, washed clothes by hand. She got up early every day to make meals for my grandpa, who worked 12-hour shifts in coal mines. When times were leaner than normal, she would do odd jobs, taking in other people's laundry or helping with someone else's family member. She raised 8 children in those conditions, 4 of whom were orphan nieces and nephews. She took a hand in helping raising her grandkids when they came along. And by the time I was born, she did make time to sit and read, often with me, but she still worked many hours a day, cooking meals, every single meal for my grandpa and quite a few for the rest of us. If indeed hard work actually contributed to wealth, the grandmother of my childhood would have been a billionaire. But the grandmother of my adulthood was slightly different. For about 20 years or so after my grandpa died, she lived in town in a rent-controlled senior apartment building. She helped out the old people who lived there, her words, even though some of them were younger than her. But she also spent hours reading books. She would talk on the phone to family. She got a little dog and played with him. She went for long, rambling, purposeless walks. And she loved to take naps. Now, I didn't remember her ever napping when I was a kid, so I was surprised by this newfound hobby, and I asked her about it once when I was visiting. We had walked through the lobby of her apartment building where a semicircle of rocking chairs was set up, and one of her neighbors was snoozing. She said a different neighbor would scold anybody she found doing that and would say to them, "Chairs are for sitting, beds are for laying, day is for waking, night is for sleeping." And Mamaw told me whenever that scold would say that to her, she, Mamaw, would argue back and say, if a body is tired, then a body should rest. I laughed and said I don't remember her resting much before. And she told me throughout her life, she was often so tired that she could have fallen asleep standing up, but she didn't have the luxury. There was always too much to be done and too many people who needed her. But now that she had the time, she was going to rest whenever she wanted, and no scold would make her feel guilty for it. I could only visit her once a year, but after that moment, napping was added to the list of things we did together for those visits. I think about my grandma's life and how rest was a luxury in the midst of work that was seemingly never finished. I'm blessed that my life is not as physically hard as my grandma's was, and I'm learning to not make it as emotionally hard. So when that scold that is my inner critic takes up a chorus of "do more now," I listen for the voice of the grandma of my adulthood. I hear her tell me, a tired body should rest. I see her sitting in a chair, napping. And whenever I can, I make time to join her.
One of my family's favorite stories to tell is about my first day of school when I was 5. It was a well-known fact that I loved to sleep. And because of this, my mom had me practice waking up for school the week leading up to the first day of kindergarten, coming in every morning and waking me up at the same time. It had varied results. Eventually, the morning of my actual first day of school arrived, and my mother opened the bedroom door, walked across the room, stepping over dolls and stuffed animals, and arrived at my bed. "Monica," she gently said, rubbing my shoulder, "wake up! It's the first day of school." I waved her away with one tiny hand, eyes closed, and said, "Just 20 more minutes, Mom. Just 20 more minutes." She replied, "20 more minutes? You can't tell time. That's why you are going to school." Well, she called me on my bluff, so I had to sleepily mosey on down my bunk bed ladder to start my first day of school. Now, in present day, I am still a fan of the extra 20 minutes of sleep. My husband can attest to my use of the snooze button, but that extra sleep is paired with something new, and that is guilt. I often feel guilty for taking that extra rest and not waking up super early with the first alarm to be the most productive person that I can be that day. And when the pandemic hit and people were asked to shelter in place, I heard similar sentiments from the people in my community. I'm so tired that I should be doing more. I've done some things around the house, but not as much as I should. I really need to be more productive. Our society, which values work and capitalism, can make us feel like our self-worth is directly correlated with what we can produce. That our bodies and our minds must always be streamlined and efficient. Well, today I'm here to tell you that is just not true. And I'm going to take it one step further and say that all of us deserve and need rest. I'm not saying that we should never do any kind of work again, but I am suggesting that when we allow ourselves to recharge and heal through taking intentional breaks, we can go back to our work, energized to live out our 7 principles in the world. Taking a day of rest is not something that is completely new to Unitarian Universalists or other faith traditions, as many observe a Sabbath as a day of rest as a community. Our Christian roots connect us to the Sabbath practice of resting on Sunday, symbolic of how God rested on the 7th day of creation in the Bible. Today, it's difficult for us to imagine having an entire day like that, but we can use the time we have in church together as a time to tend to ourselves and our spirit in a busy week. And it's amazing how hard it is for us to find time to stop or slow down when it is one of our basic needs. Besides food and water, our bodies need sleep and rest to function. Therefore, the power of taking that time is significant. So, what does it mean to rest? How do we do it? The first way that we can rest is sleep. It helps our bodies grow and heal, while also provides our minds time to process. When we get a full 7 to 8 hours of sleep, our memory can improve long term. A 20-minute nap can restore your tired self for the rest of the day. While sleep is one of the first things that we think of when it comes to rest, sliding into bed and taking a nap is not the only way. Resting can be as simple as just stopping whatever we are doing and listening to ourselves, or doing something that we enjoy without the need to be productive. One way that we can simply just be in our daily lives is through mindfulness, the practice of simply observing the present moment. You can be observing what is in the environment around you, an action you are doing, or what is within yourself. To demonstrate, I'd like to invite us to a practice of mindfulness, just a moment together. Now, if you have that cup of coffee or beverage in front of you, I invite you to take a moment and grab that now. And if you don't have one, don't worry. Just simply observe your breath and the environment around you during this time. Now, for those of you who grabbed your mug or glass, hold it in front of you. And let us all, glass or no glass, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now we will take a sip together. And as you sip, I invite you to just pay attention to everything. How it tastes, how it smells, how it feels, everything as you slowly sip your drink. Just take in everything that you notice. Let us take one more deep breath. And then open your eyes. That was a moment of mindfulness. You may feel different after that. You may feel lighter, more attentive, maybe even a little bit calmer. That is the power of just one moment of rest. And this practice is something you can do every morning with a cup of coffee or while taking a walk. Another way we can just rest is by doing the little things that bring us joy without a need for them to be productive. Make art, watch a movie, call a friend, whatever it is that lifts your spirits or makes you feel restored. When we make time for rest, it makes us more present to what it is that we need. When we are going and going and going, focusing on doing the next thing and the next thing and being as productive as possible, we can miss the signals from our body and our mind that we need a break. We may not notice how tired we are or what emotional or spiritual weight we might be holding on to. Have you ever experienced those moments when you stop for a moment after working and realize, wow, I am really tired? Or when you sit with your thoughts for a moment and realize you've been holding on to grief or sadness just for the sake of getting the work done? Rest gives us these opportunities to check in with ourselves and restore our minds, bodies, and spirits through practices like sleep, mindfulness, and just pressing pause for a moment. In a culture which values the productivity over the people, rest can also be a form of resistance. In Atlanta, Georgia, Tricia Hersey created the organization, the NAP Ministry, for just this purpose. Through workshops, community organizing, performance art, and a strong social media presence, the NAP Ministry shares the good news of the liberating power of naps. In their own words, we believe rest is a form of resistance and name sleep deprivation as a racial and social justice issue. In a June NPR interview during the rise of the Black Lives Matter protests, the NAP bishop herself, Tricia Hersey, described how protests and resistance are not without the need for rest. She said, "Right now, rest is critical because it's counterintuitive and counter-narrative to see slowing down, napping, and rest as a key to our movement for Black liberation. But it really is so important because rest disrupts and pushes back and allows space for healing, for invention, for us to be more human. It'll allow us to imagine this new world that we want, this new world that's liberated, that's full of justice. That's a foundation for us to really, truly live our lives." We cannot do the work of making a better world for everyone without first allowing ourselves to rest. When we take the time to rest, whatever that means for us, we resist white supremacy culture and dream what the future could look like. And when we rest, we dream. We become more energized, and then we can go back to the work and make those dreams a reality. The events of 2020 have highlighted the inequalities in our world, the suffering of many, and the work that we need to do collectively. But we simply cannot do what needs to be done in our world or even within ourselves if we do not give ourselves time to simply be, to sleep, to feel, to just be in our own bodies. So please go and do the hard work, the work that you are passionate about, but also identify the practices for yourself that allow you to rest and recharge. Let's all promise here today to give ourselves permission to take those naps, to meditate, drink some tea, or whatever it is that makes us feel rested and restored. Let's give ourselves the 20 more minutes of sleep. The world so needs the work of this church. A church who can change the world because they took the time to rest and to dream.
Good morning. My name is Dale Skaggs, and I invite you now to join in a spirit of generosity. We know this coronavirus pandemic is affecting our members in many different ways, but for those of us who can give right now, it is more important than ever to share our resources with people who have been harder hit by the pandemic. Our church supports members and friends of our congregation spiritually, emotionally, and materially, and supports people in Milwaukee through our relationships with our community partners. Your pledges are the foundation of our congregation and the core of our spiritual practice of generosity. In addition, we are grateful for non-pledge gifts from folks who appreciate our online ministry and are benefiting from it. We also have a special fund for people who need financial support called the Minister's Discretionary Fund. You can give to the church by texting 73256 with the message "Give to UU $." That's the word give, the number 2, UU $. Follow the prompts and choose pledge payment, non-pledge gift, or minister's discretionary. You can also give to First Church by going to our web-based giving link. That's at onrealm.org/FUSM/give/First You can see both these options on your screen. We also encourage you to give directly to our community partners. You can find a list of their needs on our website at uumilwaukee.org/support-Milwaukeeans-COVID-19, which you can see on your screen. This summer, we are highlighting the work of the Bread of Healing Clinic, a neighborhood-based clinic on Milwaukee's north side for individuals with financial or other barriers to quality health care, including medical, dental, vision, and behavioral health care. The clinic serves people of 52 different languages and is committed to achieving health, not simply eliminating sickness. Now more than ever, we know that health is an issue of social justice, a right that belongs to all people, not just a commodity to be delivered on the basis of finances. A link for direct contributions to the clinic should be on your screen. All of your offerings to our community partners and to First Church will be gratefully received. And now, as always, but especially at this time when our interdependence is so evident, thank you for your generosity.
When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
As we leave this sacred time together and return to our individual lives, let us set these intentions for ourselves. May we all rest our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. May we take the moments to dream, to love, and to just be. May we remember that in order to serve others, we must also rest and serve ourselves. We extinguish our chalice flame together with a new commitment to the liberating power of rest. Be well, and blessed be.